Hi, welcome to the Pigskin Postgame Wrap. I'm Joe Cortez, joined by Jim Silva and Ron Agostini. Ron, you had a dandy. You were at over in Houston tonight, and the Trans-Valley League got really interesting.
Yes, it did. As it always seems to get. It just keeps getting more fun with each passing week, and that's the way it is every year in the TVL. Hillmar beat Houston 43-42 in overtime on a PAT in overtime by a sophomore by the name of Marcus Morrow, third member of his family to kick for Hillmar. Nice. Family connection. He came through in only his third varsity game. Big kick to win the game. Wild ball game tonight.
Houston's second consecutive overtime loss.
Yes. You got to feel for Houston.
Oh, they have crossed the football gods. It's rough. 48-47 loss in overtime to Modesto Christian last week. 43-42 tonight. Houston fought uphill most of the game. Took a lead in the fourth quarter. Looked like they had a 2-score lead. Had a 99-yard pick-6 interception by Walter Fountain called back.
Oh.
And that turned the game in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Hillmar eventually tied it and won it in OT. Incredible game tonight.
Two gut-wrenching losses for Houston.
Well, Houston's loss last week kind of affected my game tonight. Yes. Ripon just throttled Modesto Christian 49-14, and Mike Parsons thought that overtime win last week against Houston kind of took something out of his team this week. He was clear not to diminish anything Ripon did, because Ripon went to this go-go NASCAR offense in the second half and just gassed Modesto Christian. They were gassed.
Well, they have less than 20 players on their roster, right?
Absolutely right. Yeah. They suit up 18.
And not only that, but the emotional letdown. I mean, they were celebrating on that field last week when they beat Houston like they had won the league title, and it's hard to come back.
Naturally, But Parsons said he thought his team was a little flat. Yeah. And but they suit up 18. Ripon has 20 seniors returning.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's a huge number in the TVL. And they're the only undefeated team in the TVL now. They're 3-0 with games against Escalon and Houston. It's still on the schedule. They win one of those, they're guaranteed the #1 seed in this league.
Yeah, it's theirs for the taking.
They're in the driver's seat.
Yep.
Hey, looking at some of the other scores around the region, everything went pretty much according to Hoyle in the Modesto Metro Conference, the CCC, and the Valley Oak League. Central Catholic, Manteca, Oakdale were winners there. Merced beats Buhack. Pittman beats Golden Valley. Turlock beats Atwater. In the MMC, Beyer beats Davis. Grigori beats Johansson, and Modesto beats Enox. That sets up a lot of championship matchups.
Right. Which is next week and the following week. Next week it's Beyer playing Modesto, and Modesto wins. They finish up with Davis, so they're pretty much. Modesto wins, they're going to go undefeated, looks like.
In league.
If Beyer wins, then you've got three one-loss teams, and makes things interesting.
You've got chaos a little bit. But,
a little bit,
and then Merced will face Turlock next week down in Merced.
Pretty much a winner-take-all for that one.
Pretty much, yeah. If Turlock wins, let me think.
They play Pittman.
No, if Merced wins, then Pittman can still factor in and make it a three-way. And then in Central Catholic and Oakdale, it looks like they're on that collision course. Manteca gets Oakdale next week. That's no gimme.
Right.
But
it looks like
I think Oakdale's favored, and it's looking like we're going to get those two 9-0 teams there.
Yeah.
That big matchup. But any other scores surprise you? I know you said you were surprised by my score.
I was surprised by the margin there of Ripon and Modesto Christian tonight. That surprised me a little bit.
And Pacheco was in that game in Patterson. I was surprised by that one. It was closer than maybe the final score was. Final score was 60-42. Patterson beating Pacheco, but Pacheco was in that game. So.
And a good game in series tonight. Central Valley just gets past El Capitan.
Yeah, some good stuff.
And they're still in the playoff mix. Well, that's it for this week's edition of the Pigskin Postgame Wrap. For Joe, for Jim, and Ron, I'm Joe. We'll see you next time.